How's it going, everyone? What you're going to see today is a breakdown of the U-100 MK5, which is the starting machine gun for the support class in Battlefield 4. This is the gun you'll pretty much have to get used to if you're brand new to the Battlefield series when using a machine gun. The main differences with machine guns, obviously, is typically, for the most part, you'll have a much larger magazine size. You'll have an increased amount of suppression when shooting these guns versus other rifles or carbines, whatever. And the difference, though, is that you'll find an increased spread for the most part with these guns. This one here, the starting one is more similar to, I'd say, an assault rifle than it is a machine gun, mostly because you're reloading with magazine instead of something belt-fed. But that being said, if you have played Battlefield 3, I'd pretty much compare this one to the M27 IAR as probably the best similarity in terms of guns. I can get into the stats and what I basically use for it to help you understand my thought processes for it. Basically the same. It's basically the same with most of the guns in this game. The max damage is 25, the minimum damage is 18. The damage drop-off starts at 8 meters and ends at 65 meters. The rounds per minute are 590, which is it's not a very fast fire rate gun. The muzzle velocity on the rounds is 650 meters per second, which is actually a pretty decent muzzle velocity for most guns that are firing. Magazine size, I should say, is 46, and it fires a 5.56 by 45 NATO round. Its reload time is 3.9 seconds when it's completely empty, which is quite the long reload time. That would be one basic reason I probably wouldn't choose this as my gun unless I had to. And its reload time when there's one left in the chamber is 2.75 seconds, which isn't that bad. It's almost on par with many of the other guns in the game, but there's a large discrepancy between empty versus with a round left in the chamber. So make sure that you always have a round left in the chamber when you're going to reload. Don't completely let it go empty, or you're going to have almost 4 seconds worth of time where you're going to be hoping no one comes around that corner. The actual shot accuracy plots for this gun, especially when a compensator or suppressor are attached, isn't too bad. It's basically a straight up recoil. There is some slight deviation to the left or to the right depending on, what attachment you're using, but if you're using the suppressor or the compensator like I probably would in most cases, for the most part it's a straight vertical movement. So all you have to do is hold down on your controller or mouse and you should be able to counter the recoil. That said, I wouldn't fire this gun in full auto anyway, just for the obvious reason that the longer you hold the gun in full auto, the more instability and spread you're going to have with it. So fire it in 2 to 3 round bursts to keep your accuracy high, and mixed with the suppression and the 46 round magazine you start with, you're going to be able to churn out an awful lot of damage with this gun. So even though it is a starting gun, or a starting, machine gun, I guess you could say, it's still quite good. You can still be quite effective with it, and like this was me just taking, like the clips you'll see in the background is me basically just taking a gun, going in a round or two and getting some kills with it, and I still find it to be highly effective. Like I said, counter it by putting your mouse straight down, because it's a straight vertical movement for the most part, and basically just try to fire in bursts. Like I'm repeating myself here, but it's important information. Try not, for the most part, unless you're in a close quarter situation like that, to go full auto, because it'll just increase the spread to a point where it's not manageable in medium range. But the lower fire rate on it actually gives it a chance to be able to keep it in full auto and still be quite effective. It wouldn't be my primary choice in terms of like a machine gun for the support class in this case. I'd probably rather choose a carbine or another belt-fed gun, such as like the M249 or something of that sort. But this gun here is similar to the M27 IAR in Battlefield 3 if you've played it. If you're used to that gun, you won't find any real differences here, and it'll probably be effective for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later.